Hello everyone, welcome to the channel JIV and CIV Made Simple. So in this video we are going to discuss our unit number 11 theory portion in English, that is based on risk and basic risk management framework. For those of you who are comfortable in listening to English language, and most of you are obviously, this video will be helpful to you to brush up your concept, and these are the topic which we are going to discuss here. First of all, we will see the objectives, we will see what is risk, we will see the linkage between risk, capital and return, and why risk needs to be managed. So these four topic we will cover in this particular lecture, and the 11.4, that is basic risk management framework, will be covered in the next lecture. If I talk about the weightage of this particular subject with reference to the CIB examination, almost 5 to 6 marks question will be asked from this topic. So obviously you can see the weightage is high, right? So try to clear each and every concept which we are going to through. So let's begin with the first topic. So we will talk about a very important concept in business risk, which is called risk. I am going to explain in a simple way so that whether it will help you in your examination. So let's start with the basics. What is risk? Yeah, you can see risk definition. So risk is essentially the difference between what we expect to happen and what actually happen, right? What actually happen. So we expect that this will happen, but some other thing happen. The difference between these two is called risk, right? Think about it as the gap between your plan. You can think of it like your plan and what reality throws, right? Plan minus reality. So you have planned something and reality is something else. So that's the difference, is called risk. This gap is caused by uncertainties. Okay, what is the meaning of uncertainties? Uncertainties means things which we can't predict or control. There are some things which we can't predict, right? We have not predicted those things, and nor we can control those things. These are called uncertainties, right? So let me give you a quick example. Imagine you have a super important appointment. Maybe it is a job interview, right? And you plan everything, getting ready, how long it will take to get there, and so on. But there are uncertainties involved, like traffic, whether your car breaks down, or even how fast you get dressed. So these uncertainties could mess up your plan and make you late. That's the risk, right? So this is the best example through which you can understand the concept of risk. Now let's move on to risk arises from uncertainty. Let's understand. See, here is the key point. Risk come from where? Risk come from uncertainties. Uncertainty is like the unknown. You don't know what might happen. It is not always bad. Uncertainty is not always bad, right? But when it causes something negative, like missing your appointment or losing money, then that is when it turns into risk. Try to understand what I am saying. Uncertainty is not always bad. It may not have a negative impact always, but when it causes something negative, when it has certain negative impact, then like missing your appointment or losing money, then that is what it is called risk, right? So uncertainties, we can't say that every uncertainty will be risk. No, those uncertainty which has negative impact, they are called risk. Try to understand, right? Now let's talk about the special type of risk, which is called financial risk. So in business, especially through the context of business, what I am telling you, right? So in business we often hear about financial risk. This means those uncertainty that could lead to losing money, right? So those uncertainty that could, you can see financial risk written here, those uncertainty that could lead to losing money, right? Or earning less than expected. So or suppose you expected that you will earn 1 lakh rupees, but in reality you get only 60,000. So there is a risk involved, right? So I have already told you the difference between what you expect and what you actually get. That difference is called risk, right? So if you are running a business, you are dealing with financial risk every day. For example, a store might not sell as many products as expected. So you have expected that you should sell 10,000 products, but only you could sell 6,000 products, right? So leading to less profit or even less loss. So to the context of business, if we talk about the risk in business, see, speaking of business, risk is everywhere. Whether you are running a small store or a big bank, risk is a part of the game. No matter what you do, every business activity has some level of risk, from small challenges to big uncertainty. And the truth is, risk is unavoidable. This is inherent and unavoidable, right? This is the truth. So Hopefully you have good. So let's summarize the key points which we have covered in these two slides. First thing is that risk is difference between expected outcome and what actually happened, and it is caused by uncertainty. First point. Second point, uncertainty does not always mean something bad, but when it leads to negative result, when it leads to negative outcome, that is the risk. Financial risk are those uncertainties which affect a business money, like losing profit. In business, risk is everywhere. It is an unavoidable part of running any company, right? I hope you have a better understanding of what risk is and how it plays a role in business and everyday life. So if you really think this video is helpful to you, please hit the like button. Now let's come through the next part of it, that origin of the word risk. So in this slide we will talk about risk and how it play a part in our daily life and business. So we have talked in the previous slide. Now let's dive a little deeper into where the word risk come from and how it's related to banking, and some insight on risk in business, especially in trading. Did you know that the word risk has an interesting origin? It comes from an Italian word. The Italian word is called risicare. You can see written here, which means to dare. What does this mean? It means to dare, right? So think about that for a second. When you take a risk, you are actually daring to face challenges and uncertainty. Obviously you are actually daring that yes, I am ready to face the challenges, I am ready to face the uncertainties. Whether in life or business, risk is about stepping into the unknown with the hope of achieving something great. Obviously risk is what? Risk is you are stepping into something you don't know with the hope that you will achieve great. Now let's talk about risk in banking. So the banking industry has always been surrounded by risk throughout its history. Every decision in banking, like lending money, handling investment, managing fund, comes with its own set of risk. Bank need to take calculated risk to make profit, right? Bank need to take calculated risk, right? But they also have to be careful not to lose money in the process. Now what is the Warren Buffett view? Try to understand. One of the world's most famous investor, Warren Buffett, has a greatest quote about risk. Risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. Basically, if you don't fully understand a situation, you are more likely to make risky mistake. The more knowledge and preparation you have, the better equipped you are to handle risk. So this is one of the famous view which was Warren Buffett. Now let's talk about this cash flow uncertainty. Let's move to the next slide. See, in any business, cash flow is very crucial. When we talk about cash flow uncertainty, we are referring to the unpredictability. What we are referring to? We are referring to the unpredictability of money coming into and going out of business. So suppose this is business, money is coming in, money is going out. So this is unpredictability of this money coming in, money going out of the business. If you are running a company, you may always know how much money you will make from sales, right? You may not always know, right, how much money you will make from sales and how much you will spend on expenses. These uncertainties affect your overall profit or loss, making them a key factor in the business risk. So obviously the uncertainty of cash inflow and cash outflow, that is what we are talking about. Now let's focus on a risk in trading. In trading business, the biggest risk come from cash inflow and cash outflow. What is the meaning of this cash inflow? See, cash inflow means money coming into the business from sales. But here is the thing, sales don't always stay the same. Sometimes they go up and sometimes they go down. Also the price per unit of what you are selling can vary too. All these changes create uncertainty which contribute to risk in the trading business. Now let me summarize the key points which we have covered in the previous two slides. So we have discussed that the word risk comes from the risicare, which means to dare. The banking industry has always been exposed to risk. According to Warren Buffett, risk comes from not fully understanding what you are doing. Cash flow uncertainty in business is a key risk factor because you can't always predict sales and expense. In trading business, risk mainly comes from fluctuation in sales volume and unit price. I hope this thing help you understand how risk play a role in banking and trading business. So now let's move to the next slide and let's see how risk in trading business in the case of cash outflow. So what are cash outflow? Simply put, so already we will continue exploring how risk impact businesses, especially focus on cash flow. So we have talked about cash inflow from sales, but now let's look at cash outflow and how this factor can influence a business profit. So what are cash outflow? Simply put, this is the money that a business spend. Cash outflow come from different areas. What type of area? You can see like purchases, means buying product or raw material, like administrative cost, like salaries, office expense, etc. Transportation cost, like shipping goods to customer or bringing in supplies. So but here is where the risk comes in. So in the prices of the prices of these purchases and expense can change unexpectedly, right? For example, if the price of transportation, so suppose price of transportation suddenly goes up due to the fuel cost, so fuel cost rises and transportation suddenly goes up, so it affect how much money you are spending. So these unexpected change create uncertainty in the cash outflow, which affect your profit, right? So uncertainty in the purchase price and other costs lead to cash flow variation, right? Now let's talk about the impact on profit. There is something called favorable outcome, and now let's talk about how these changes in cash flow can impact profit. First, let's see favorable outcome. When things go better than expected, it is a win situation. For example, if your sales volume is higher than expected, right? Or if you sell at higher prices, you make more money. On the other hand, if your purchase price or expenses are lower than expected, right, so in that case you also save money. All of these lead to higher profit. So you have expected sales volume to be suppose 10,000 and it has reached 20,000, so obviously you are at profit. And suppose your purchase price or expense are lower than you expected. You expected that you will purchase a certain thing in 2,000 rupees, but it only cost you 1,000 rupees, so obviously you are at profit, right? Now let's talk about the unfavorable outcome. So but the opposite can happen too. If your sales volume is lower than you have to sell at lower price, your earning can take a hit. And if your purchase price goes up or expenses rises unexpectedly, you end up with lower profit or even losses. So where does the risk fit into all of this? So we have seen the impact on profit. Either it can favorable outcome or it can be unfavorable outcome, depending on the situation. Now the pertinent question is, where does risk fit into all of these? Risk in the business shows up when these uncertainties, whether they are related to the sales volume, prices, cost, start to negatively affect your profit. What I'm saying, that when risk arises when these uncertainties related to sales volume, prices, purchase cost, administrative expenses, etc., start to negatively affect your profit. You can't always predict these changes, right? And that is where risk comes into picture. Now let's summarize the key point which we have covered in the previous two slides. So already I have told you that cash flow include spending on purchases, administrative cost, transportation. Unexpected changes in these costs causes risk. Now favorable outcomes lead to increased profit when sales are higher, costs are lower than expected. Unfavorable outcomes leads to lower profit or more losses when sales are down or expenses rise unexpectedly. And then we have talked about risk arises from uncertainties in sales price, purchase cost, expenses that negatively impact our profit. I hope this helps you understand how cash flow uncertainties contribute to the business risk. Obviously, cash flow uncertainty has the biggest role. Whether you are talking about uncertainty in sales volume, price, purchase cost, everything has the biggest role. That we have discussed. Cash inflow, cash outflow, what does it mean? Hopefully it is clear now. Now friends, we will be discussing the difference between two closely related concepts, that is the uncertainty and risk. What is the difference? We will also look at how risk affect business, especially those with high variability like trading. Let's start by talking about uncertainty. What is uncertainty? See, in simple terms, uncertainty means not knowing what is going to happen in the future. It is when the information you have is vague, unclear, and you can't predict what will happen next. Right? Vague or imprecise knowledge, that is called uncertainty. Now what is risk? Try to understand. So risk is a bit different from uncertainty. Risk is a specific form of uncertainty that you actually measure and manage. So risk can be systematically accessed, it can be measurable, it is manageable, right? How do you measure and manage? By using data and probabilities. In other words, we can say risk involve uncertainties, but it is something you can assess using number and make plan around. For example, an insurance company can predict how likely certain events are to happen based on past data and prepare for it. right? So risk is something, this is a, see, suppose this is uncertainty, so risk is a form of uncertainty. So this is our risk, and the special feature is that you can measure this risk. You can not only measure, you can also manage this risk. So this is the special feature of this particular risk, right? Is it clear now? Now so how are uncertainty and risk connected? So let's understand. Uncertainty comes first, and once we understand that uncertainty, we can turn into risk by analyzing it. So that is called precursor, right? So that is why we say uncertainty is the mother of risk, because risk management starts with figuring out the unknown. Yes, obviously. Now let's talk about the risk in business. So hopefully you have understood how they are related. Uncertainty is called the mother of risk. Now in the business world, risk often shows up in the form of variation in cash flow. Already I have told you cash inflow, cash outflow. This way it shows up. As we discussed before, cash flow uncertainty can lead to either favorable outcome like higher profit or unfavorable outcome like losses. When these uncertainty have a negative impact on your business, that is what we call risk to the business. Already we have told you. Now let's discuss risk in high variability business. What does it mean? See, let's now look at a business with high variability. High variability like trading in commodities or shares. In these business, cash flow can change rapidly due to fluctuation in demand and prices. Now in case of favorable condition, when price goes up and demand is strong, the business can make huge profit. And in the case of adverse condition, like when prices fall down or demand weakens, the business could suffer significant losses. This makes trading a high risk, high reward business. Right, that is why trading is called high risk, high reward, because a favorable situation you can see it leads to very high profit, and unfavorable situation unfavorable situation you can see like when price fall or demand weaken, the business could suffer significant loss. Right, now let's summarize here is a quick recap of the point which we have covered just now. So first thing we have seen that uncertainty is not knowing what will happen in the future due to lack of clear information. We have seen risk is a measurable type of uncertainty that you can assess using data and probability. Uncertainty is called mother of risk, meaning risk management starts with assessing the unknown. In business, variation in net cash flow from uncertainties can lead to either good or bad outcome. The bad outcome are considered the risk. Business with high variability like trading can experience both high profit and heavy losses depending on the market condition. I hope this clears up you the difference between uncertainty and risk and how they play a crucial role in the business. Right, so I have told you one business with high variability like the trading, right? So trading can experience both high profit and heavy loss depending on the market condition. So this is how risk in variable business. Now let's discuss high risk in the business. So let's continue our discussion. I think okay from here. I think it is repeated once more. Okay, so I already we have discussed risk and cash flow. No need to discuss it again. Yeah, so we'll begin with low risk investment, right? Like zero risk investment. So zero risk. Okay, so now let's talk about zero risk investment. So let's start with zero risk investment. So we are going to dive into some key concepts that are essential to understand risk management, like zero risk investment, relationship between risk, capital, and return. So let's start with the zero risk investment. Sorry friends, as the name suggests, a zero risk investment is one when there is no variation in the net cash flow, right? So managing meaning you know exactly how much you will get back with no surprise. However, there is a trade-off. What is trade-off? Since this investment comes with no risk, they also typically offer lower return as compared to other market opportunities. It is like choosing a safer option when you don't lose money but you don't earn much extra. Let me give you an example. You can think of zero risk investment as a government bond, or okay, so you can think of government bond. It is very safe, but the interest you earn is usually pretty low compared to the riskier investment like a stock. Now let's talk about the linkage among risk, capital, and return. Now these three elements form what we call the trinity of risk management. Now first thing comes risk is the uncertainty of losing money. As we all know that risk is the uncertainty of losing money, and capital is the financial cushion that protect you if you experience loss, and return is the profit you aim to make on your investment. Let's look an example of equity trading. So in the book you have been provided with the example of equity trading. So for a stock trading, let's say, to see how these work together. So if you have a profit, suppose you have a profit in trading, that's add up to your capital. Obviously this profit will be added to your capital, your cushioning power increases. The more profit you make, the more capital you have for future trade. But suppose you have loss, so it's your capital that take the hit. If you don't have enough capital to back up your loss, you won't be able to continue trading or recover from the loss. That's this. So why having enough capital as a backup is so important. It is your safety net in case things don't go as planned. So that is why this capital is called cushion, right? To put it simply, capital act like a cushion for your business or investment activity. If you lose money, this cushion help absorb the loss, allowing you to keep going without going bankrupt. Now, what is the best approach? That is the balance approach. Let's discuss. Right. So, what is the balance approach here? So, balance approach is it is all about finding a balance. You need to manage risk and return carefully while ensuring you have enough capital to back up your investment. This balance is what help business and trader stay sustainable in the long run. Now let's summarize the key point which we have covered in just previous slide. First of all, we have seen the zero risk investment. So it offers safety but usually have lower return. Risk, capital and return are closely linked and form the foundation of risk management. In equity trading, profit adds you to your capital, while losses require capital backup to absorb the hit. Capital serve as a cushion to protect against potential loss and keep business doing. A balanced approach to manage risk, return and capital is crucial for long-term sustainability. Now we will be talking about the key driver of business risk management. Okay, so and how business need to balance their capital based on the level of risk they face. Let's start with how capital requirement relate to the business risk. You can see the first point, capital requirement and business risk. So this simply means that how much money or backup a business need to protect itself from potential loss, depending on how risky their business activities are. So there are some business which are high risk business, right? If a business has high variability in the net cash flow, meaning their profit and loss can fluctuate wildly, it has both the chance to make higher profit but also face greater loss. This type of business need more capital on hand to cover potential loss. So you can think of business that trade in commodities. So for example, you can think of business that trade in commodities, right? So where prices can change quickly. They might make a lot of money when prices are high, but could also lose a lot when prices drop. That is where they need more capital as a cushion, right? So this is the best example to understand high risk business. Now then comes low risk business, right? So there are some business which are called low risk business. What does it mean? So on the other hand, business with low variability in the cash flow, meaning their profit and loss don't change much. These business don't need as much capital. They have lower profit potential but also lower chances of loss. For example, a utility company. You can take example of utility company. So like water supply, electricity supply, okay, so usually see a stable cash flow because people need their service regularly. They don't need as much backup capital compared to high risk business, obviously. So that is why those business which have high variability in net cash flow and have both higher profit potential and loss possibility, and they require more capital, obviously. Like example I have told you, like the commodities business. In the case of commodity business, I have told you that they make lot of money when prices are high but could also lose when price drop. That is why they need more capital as a cushion, right? And utility company, I have given you example. So hopefully you have understood the capital and business risk are how they are related. Now let's discuss the linkage. So what is the connection between risk and capital? What is the connection? You can see in higher risk business, those business which have greater variability of cash flow, means inflow and outflow. In higher risk business, because their cash flow vary a lot, they need more capital. So higher risk business means more capital, right? They need more capital to handle any potential loss. Without enough capital, a business can go bankrupt if the losses are too big. And then comes lower risk business. So in the lower risk business, what does it mean? So in the lower risk business, the cash flow is more stable. So in the lower risk business, cash flow is more stable, right? In the lower risk business, the cash flow is more stable, meaning they face less risk. Because of this, they don't need as much capital to protect against loss. So this is how risk and capital related. Higher risk business, right? It means higher risk business, it means their cash flow vary a lot, so they need more capital, right? Lower risk business, cash flow is more stable, they face less risk, and because they don't need capital to protect against risk. So this is how they are linked. Okay, so let's summarize the quick recap of the point which we have covered. High risk business with more cash flow variability have higher profit and higher potential, so they need more capital. Lower risk business have more stable cash flow, meaning they have lower profit potential but also less risk, and so they need less capital. The link between risk and capital is simple: more risk require more capital, less risk require less capital. So I hope you have understood how risk and capital are connected, and how these different businesses need different amount of capital based on their risk level. Now let's discuss the break down the relationship between risk and return. We have seen the linkage between risk and capital, and now let's discuss linkage between risk and return, using a simple investment example to help you understand how these two are connected. Let's start with the basics. In any business or investment, the expected return is directly linked to the risk involved. In simple terms, the higher the risk you take, right, the higher the return. But it's also important to remember that with more risk, the chance of losing money are also great. Let's look at an example to make this clearer. Imagine you have two investment options. The first option, this gives you a steady cash flow of 6,000 rupees each year for 5 years, like 6k, 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 5 years, right? You earn total how much? 30k. Now investment number two, this is a bit riskier. It gives you a variable cash flow. First year it gives you 3k, next year 9k, next year 5k, next year 2k, and next year 15k. K means 1000, right? So overall it is also if you add it up, you will earn total of 30,000. So both investment give you the same total return, that is 30,000 over 5 years, but the key difference is that money comes in, right? The money comes is the key difference. One is steady and predictable. In this case, you can see like utility bill, you get the fixed amount every year, that is 6,000. But so it is steady and predictable, while the other is risky and uncertain. Sometimes you get 3k, sometimes you get 9k, sometimes you get 5k, and other time you get only 2k. So now let's talk about the return you get. Both investment gives you 30,000, and let's say you started with the initial investment of 50,000. Let's say you started with this was your initial investment, right? This means both gives you 12% simple return over the 5 year. Obviously 30,000 is 12% of 50,000. Sorry friends, over 5 year I'm telling you, right? So even though the total return is same, investment one is okay. Tell me which one is more attractive? Obviously investment one. Investment one is more attractive to the most people because it provides a stable cash flow. There is no uncertainty, and so there is less risk, right? Hopefully you have understood. So what is the key takeaway from this example? So this example show the classic relationship between risk and return. What is the relation? So with investment one, you are getting a steady and safe return with no surprise, meaning it is low risk option. With investment 2, the cash flow is unpredictable. So while it could give you higher return in some year, there is also risk of making losses in other. So this make it higher risk investment, right? So that is what we have made clear from this example, which in investment 1, investment 2, right? So this, remember, one case study can be from here. So let's summarize, let's recap of what we learned from these two slides, that risk and return are directly linked. Higher risk means the potential for higher return, but also chances of loss. In the investment example, investment 1 is stable with a steady return, while investment 2 is riskier due to fluctuating cash flow, even though both provide the same total return. For most people, the stability of cash flow in low risk investment is more appealing, even if the total return is the same. For most people it is the same, right? So I hope this example help you see how risk and return are connected, and why a stability in cash flow can make an investment more appealing, right? Now let's come to, so hopefully you have understood, let's come to the risk premium. Very good example. Now let's dive into two important concepts. The first is risk premium, and the second is risk adjusted return. These are the key idea you need to understand when comparing investment with different level of risk. Let's start with risk premium. Remember investment 2 from our earlier example, you remember it quite. So it was, this investment has variable cash flow with some up and some down, including a loss in 1 year. You can see there was 2,000 loss. You can see loss in the 1 year, right? So to make this investment as attractive as a stable investment one, obviously investment one was stable, investment one was quite stable. So if you want to make this investment number two as attractive as stable as investment number one, what you need to do? You would need a higher return to justify taking on the extra risk, right? You need higher return. For example, let me give you an example. Let's move to the next slide and make this more clearer. So for example, investment one offer a return of 12%. Investment one offer a return of how much? 12%, obviously, right? Then investment two need to offer something like 14%, right? So this to be equally appealing. It is not that both are offering same return. Then obviously we will choose investment one. Why we will choose investment two? Why we will lose a certain percentage in a particular year? So to make it more appealing, what we need to do? We need to the investment two should offer 14% return, right? So this extra 2% is called risk premium. This extra 2% is what we call risk premium. It is the reward you expect for taking on more risk, because in the case of investment number two, you are taking more risk. In simple terms, we can say the riskier the investment, the higher the return you want to compensate for the uncertainty. The risk premium is the extra return you require to make a high risk investment worth your while, right? Understood? What is the meaning of risk premium? This extra 2% means it is nothing but extra return you require to make high risk investment worth. Otherwise, why would you take high risk investment? You will always prefer low risk investment where the cash flow is steady. You will prefer high risk investment only when the return is higher. You would suffer this loss of 2%. As you can see in this case, you would suffer this loss of rupees 2000 only in one case when return is higher, obviously. So this is called risk premium. You are taking extra risk. The extra risk, so risk premium is the reward that you get of taking this extra risk. Now let's talk about risk adjusted return. So when you compare two investment, it is not enough to just look at the total return. You also need to consider the risk each investment carries, right? The risk carried by each investment. Let me give you an example. Simply comparing return can be misleading because one investment might be riskier than the other. To get a clearer picture, we use something called risk adjusted return, right? This means that we adjust the return based on risk level, giving us a better sense of the investment true value. So let me give you an example. So suppose investment number one give 12% return, right, with low risk. Obviously risk is low here. And investment two give 14% return with high risk. So the risk adjusted return will tell you which one is actually better after taking risk into account. So let's revise the key points which we have covered in these two slides. First thing we have seen regarding the risk premium is that the extra return you expect for taking on more risk in an investment is called risk premium. It compensates for the uncertainty in the cash flow, and risk adjusted return help you compare investment more fairly by adjusting for the risk involved. Always consider both the return and the risk when comparing investment, right? It's not that you're just considering return. No, you have to see return and risk also. Earlier in the case of risk premium, we are only considering return, nothing else. We are not considering risk here. Understood? But we have to consider risk here. That is called risk adjusted return. So understanding risk premium and risk adjusted return will help your smarter investment decision. Now, I hopefully this transition will help you. Now let's move on to our next slide. We will go into discuss a key concept for both investor and businesses, that is risk adjusted return on capital, that is called RAROC. This is something you will want to understand if you are looking to make informed investment decision, right, in simple terms. So let's move on to the next slide. What is this RAROC? Sorry friends. Now, so in simple terms, RAROC is a way to measure how well a business or investment is performing, but with the focus of risk involved. The main focus is our risk involved, right? Unlike traditional metrics like ROA, like ROE, return on asset, return on equity, RAROC considered the risk were taken to generate those returns. This makes RAROC more accurate and useful tool, especially when you are trying to compare different investment and different business unit, right? So these are the traditional method we know already. So let's talk about why RAROC is so important. The first key reason is performance measurement. Imagine you have two business unit. One's generate a high return but takes on a lot of risk, while other make a steady return with much lesser risk. RAROC will help you see which business unit is really performing better by balancing the return with risk taken. Unlike ROA or ROE, right, which just focus on return, RAROC gives you the real performance after accounting for the risk, right? Now, the next thing is better investment indicator. So a higher RAROC means better reward for the investor, as it shows that business or investment is providing a strong return without taking on too much risk. ROE might show higher return, but if the company is taking on lot of risk to get the return, it is not as appealing, right? Obviously ROE it will show high return, but if the company is taking a lot of risk, so that is not that appealing. That is where RAROC comes into picture. It gives a more accurate picture. Now let's talk about risk and capital relationship. Already we have discussed it. Okay, so the capital of a business needs depend on amount of risk it is taking. How much capital a business will require depends on the risk it is taking. If the business has lot of uncertainty in its revenue model, it will need more capital to act like a buffer. With more risk, you will expect a higher return. On the other hand, if a business has low risk, it will need less capital and might settle for low return. So RAROC helps businesses balances the amount of risk they take with the capital they have available. So what are the key points which we have covered in the previous two slides? So first thing we have seen that RAROC is a better measure of performance as compared to ROA and ROE, return on asset and return on equity, because it accounts for risk. Investors look for higher RAROC as it shows better return for the risk taken. The amount of capital a business need is tied to the risk it is facing, and RAROC helps manage the balance. So hopefully it is clear now. Now we will explore how business can be compared using a concept called RAROC. So friends, we are ending first lecture here. The next lecture will be available to the paid member. If you really want such type of videos for your understanding purpose, you can enroll in our crash course or our BFM English comprehensive course. For more detail, you can get on by WhatsApp on this particular number. And if you really feel this video was useful for your understanding, please hit the like button. Do subscribe.